It was 7 o'clock in the morning when the knock came. I opened the door to find my sister standing there, bags in hand, eyes lit with entitlement. "I'll live here," she announced, brushing past me as if the place already belonged to her. By 8, my mother called. Her voice was sharp, rehearsed. "We're doubling your rent to cover expenses." When I said I'd move out, she laughed. They laughed. My sister in the background, my father's chuckle bleeding through the line. They thought they'd cornered me, that I'd bend, that I'd swallow humiliation to keep the roof I was already paying for. They underestimated me. I used to think family was safe ground. That blood built unshakable bonds. But family, I've learned, can be the sharpest knife. I was the one who paid rent on time, the one who fixed the leaky pipes, replaced the broken blinds. I kept the apartment alive. My sister, meanwhile, had drifted from job to job, her failures padded by parental sympathy. "She's just figuring it out," they'd say. And I believed them. I wanted to because if she was lost, maybe she'd one day find her way. But the morning she declared herself my roommate, I saw the truth. She wasn't lost. She was opportunistic. And my parents weren't blind. They were complicit. The signs had been there. The little comments. My mother asking, "Do you really need that much space all to yourself?" My father reminding me that family helps family. At first, I brushed it off, but the frequency grew. Then came the sudden inspection visits. My sister trailing behind, scanning the apartment like a vulture circling meat. The betrayal wasn't one moment. It was a slow tightening rope. By the time I felt it around my neck, they were already pulling. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I agreed. "Fine, I'll move." The relief in their voices was audible. They thought they'd won, that I was surrendering, but what I was really doing was sharpening. My plan didn't need shouting or fights. It needed silence, restraint, patience. So I packed my things box by box. Each night after work, quietly loading my car, I made no announcement, gave no warning, and when the last of my personal belongings were gone, I went back. Not for clothes, not for books, for everything else. The furniture, the appliances, the rug in the living room I had bought, the curtains I had hung, the table I had assembled with blistered hands. Piece by piece, I stripped the apartment to its bones. By the time I was done, the place was hollow, echoing, lifeless. The morning my family came to claim their victory, they opened the door to a carcass. No sofa to sit on, no bed for my sister. No microwave, no lamps, no shelves, just white walls, and a floor as bare as their loyalty. My sister's shriek cracked the air. "What did you do?" I stood in the doorway, keys dangling from my finger. "I took what's mine." My mother sputtered. "You can't." I paid for it all. Every fork, every chair, every stitch of fabric. The rent you doubled wasn't for me. It was for you. Consider it reimbursement. I didn't wait for their rebuttal. I dropped the keys into my father's stunned hand, turned, and walked away. Behind me, chaos bloomed. Accusations, demands, curses, but I felt none of it. Just the quiet satisfaction of a move executed with precision. Of course, they tried to spin it. Calls, messages, threats wrapped in guilt. "You're selfish. You abandoned your family." I ignored them. What they didn't know is that I'd already secured a new place. Smaller, yes, but it was mine, paid for with my money, untouched by their claws. I furnished it with everything I'd taken. Each piece a reminder not of loss, but of liberation. The confrontation came a week later. My sister showed up again, fury shaking her voice. "You ruined everything. How could you leave US with nothing?" I looked at her, really looked. She had always carried herself like a princess in waiting, but now she was just a woman stripped of her illusions. "You ruined yourself," I said calmly. "I just stopped funding your comfort." Her mouth opened, closed. No words came. For the first time, she understood the weight of her dependency. And for the first time, I felt no guilt. They wanted me to break, to bend under the burden of obligation and blood. But I didn't. Instead, I gave them what they demanded, space. Only I left them with nothing to fill it. Now when I walk into my apartment, I breathe freely. The furniture sits where I placed it, untouched by their hands. The silence is mine, not forced upon me, but chosen. I think back to that morning, the knock, the laughter, the arrogance, and I smile. They thought they had trapped me, but all they did was hand me the perfect excuse to leave and take everything with me. In the end, revenge wasn't fire. It wasn't loud. It was subtraction. The removal of myself, my effort, my investment.